Great Lakes Water Advisory tells us this all started at 5:30 Monday evening. The water main break at 14 Mile Road in Drake caused a loss of water pressure in the distribution system. Now we're learning the timeline for the repairs to be finished is Friday evening.
We are waiting for a press conference with the Great Lakes Water Authority. They're going to be answering important questions. We understand that press conference has just started. Let's listen into what they have to say.
From the Great Lakes, which of course is a wonderful source, and we treat that to standards that surpass the regulatory requirements. You know, the main break of this magnitude impacting so many customers is really unprecedented in our system. In an emergency situation like this, we will always err on the side of caution in advising our public about how to assure their water is safe to use. And that's where we'll start. We're very sorry for the impact that this is having on families and businesses in the communities that we serve. And well, for many, it is at least an inconvenience. For others, it's much more than that, affecting their schedules, taking time off work, with kids out of school, maybe rescheduling doctor's appointments, maybe rescheduling procedures that have been scheduled for some time, maybe moving out of their home or having to be relocated from another facility. We know that this is a big impact, and we're very sorry for that. Lastly, I want to assure you that we have been working around the clock to get service restored as quickly as we can in all of our communities, and we have been coordinating with your local communities as well with Oakland County, who opened their emergency operations center early last evening, and we sent staff to work with them in the emergency ops center as they coordinated with all of the Oakland County communities that have been impacted. And we will continue to work diligently to restore service to everyone so that they have the quality service that they expect from GLWA. And with that, I'm going to turn this over to Cheryl Porter. She's our Chief Operating Officer for Water Operations and Field Services, and she'll provide you with the current status on our service restoration efforts.
Good afternoon. I just wanted to give everybody an update as to where we are. We have been able to isolate the 48-inch transmission main where the break has occurred, which has enabled us to begin to repressurize certain parts of our system. And we are currently on site. We have the pipe on its way from Illinois. And we are excavating and securing the site, preparing to remove that aspect of the pipe that has been damaged. And as soon as the new pipe arrives, we will be putting that into the system and then proceeding with our testing measures. There are two aspects of the testing. One, we want to make sure that the new pipe can withstand the pressures within the system, and the next will be the water quality testing, which typically takes about 48 hours, which is the standard protocol for a system recovering from a low pressure boil water advisory. Our current focus is on customers out of water. We're looking at what we can do in our system in order to effectuate and get water to those customers who do not have water. Sometimes that is by providing assistance to the local communities, by assisting them in opening their interconnects if there are those that exist, and whatever way we can facilitate to help to ensure that we are getting water to everyone in our system. We are diligently working on doing that. We will continue to provide updates as things develop and keep the public informed. And with that, I'll open it up for questions.
What do you know about what was going on before the break happened then? Is it construction in the areas or anything that, I know you're saying in here that you're not concentrating yet on what caused it, but a lot of people want to know.
Yes, there will be an investigation. We were not expecting a water main break in this area. This particular pipe was installed in 1970. It's been about the mid-service life of this particular pipe. So it was not something that we expected, but we do have measures in place. For instance, we incorporate condition assessments and inspections on our pipes, and we are currently in the process of trying to get additional contractual assistance to help us in that effort. That will help us to identify any areas in our water transmission system where we may be vulnerable, and that way we can effectuate a repair before an actual water main break occurs.
So what I'm hearing you say, this is not considered old, and you wouldn't normally inspect that?
The inspection would be on any age pipe because you don't know what you can run into in your system. So we would want to have a program that's regularly scheduled to do inspections throughout the entire system, and that's what we are preparing to do.
So one of the things that's unusual here is in the GLWA system, our pipes are very large. It's not like the local systems where oftentimes you will do acoustic listening and other things of that nature. The technologies for inspecting pipes of this size, and particularly of some of our berry length, are fairly sophisticated and relatively new. We can't take our pipes out of service to inspect them, which means you have to use technology that can inspect them while they are in service. And so that's still relatively unique in our service sector.
Yes, it is.
But we certainly have identified a couple technologies that we're using, considering deploying, but you have to be able to actually get it into the main in active service as well, and many of these mains weren't designed for that kind of access. So it's a bit of a challenge for a system of our size. With
You've been listening in right now to the Great Lakes Water Authority representatives talking there about this massive water main break, 40-inch, 8-inch pipe. As they did mention, as you heard there, they've been able to isolate it. They're working right now. The live picture, you're looking at it, excavate the area and get that pipe removed, and a replacement pipe is on its way, we're told, from Illinois.
Yeah, from out of town, and they're worried about a lot of people without water right now.
Yeah.
And and making sure that you boil water if you do have water at home. Of course, we'll continue to follow this story all day long as we have already. But the big concern right now, of course, is hospitals serving patients throughout Metro Detroit and Michigan are being forced to make critical changes right now during this water crisis.
Yeah, our team coverage continues now with Now's Amira David live outside Henry Ford Hospital in West Bloomfield with a look at how they're handling the water crisis there. Amira.
Yeah, Carol and Joanne, as you mentioned, very serious issue for hospitals. We've been talking to the hospitals in the area now dealing with this issue. The one behind me, Henry Ford in West Bloomfield, definitely kicking into its contingency plans, telling us earlier today that it pumped thousands of gallons of sanitized water to get some relief.
We've had intermittent pressure problems. The water pressure has been coming and going throughout the early morning and into today.
Pressure problems for one of the most popular hospitals in the Metro Detroit area. This after a water main break that happened less than 2 miles away. Henry Ford says their water has been going in and out since early this morning, forcing the need for quick action.
So there are many procedures that rely on water. They must have water to work.
Our Channel 7 cameras caught these trucks pumping new sanitized water in, more than 5,500 gallons delivered for flushing toilets, while some patients were reassigned. So that's part of the story that you're going to see coming up at 5 o'clock. Also coming up, we're going to talk about how many patients exactly had to be transferred from this hospital out, and also from Providence Park, which is the other hospital in the area affected. We're also going to talk about what they're doing about ambulance traffic. It turns out they had to make some changes on that front as well. All of that coming up at 5. For now, stick on 7. Amira David, 7 Action News.
Amira, let me ask you a quick question. I know you're going to talk about patients being moved, but what are they doing in the meantime? I know my brother is in a local hospital. They couldn't even give patients ice because they couldn't use the water. So how are they containing it there at the hospital behind you?
Well, like I mentioned, they are bringing in water. We saw several trucks on scene at this hospital pumping in sanitized water. They say they're doing okay. They're also bringing in bottled water, and they say that they have plans in place for these very scenarios. So they have lots of water on hand for several days to be okay, and they're, of course, expecting it to clear up in just a few days. So we'll keep our fingers crossed.
We certainly will keep our fingers crossed. Okay, Amira, we look forward to your report coming up at 5 because I know a lot of patients had to be moved to other hospitals. Thank you so much for the live report. Joanne?
You know, we even heard that expert say that even when that big pipe comes in, then there's 48 hours usually it takes to test the water. So we've still got a few days here at a minimum. Meantime, thousands without access to running water at all are being forced to extremes to get what they need for everyday living. The Now Detroit's Naya Harden is live in Novi now with a first-hand look inside someone's home. Naya.
That's right, Joanne. I wanted to take you inside someone's home so you could see how it's like to live without water right now. This is Rochelle's home. She and her daughter and her husband, they live here in this beautiful home. But right now, take a look at her sink. No water comes out. They've been trying to figure out this problem all day.
We're getting in this car right here.
Rochelle Cherkasoff says this wasn't what she was expecting to do when she woke up this morning.
I was cooking dinner. It's 5:45 approximately, and I had gotten a big pot of water to make pasta on the stove, put that on, that was fine. Then I went back to the sink, and then there was hardly any water coming out. This is ridiculous.
That's why she's got these tubs to fill up with flushing water for her toilets.
I said, oh my gosh, we gotta go get water.
It's a bit of a process. After buying the tubs, she has to take them to the Department of Public Services in Novi.
I've already have friends that are like, I'm out looking for water, can you get that?
She's even grabbing some for her neighbors.
The real concern is that, we have family in other communities that are affected by the water, so we can go there and, shower or do other things, but there's going to be lots of people that aren't able to do that. Hopefully it shuts.
While she wasn't as prepared this time, she says her 11-year-old daughter was.
And my daughter actually has this little emergency kit that she said, you know what, I'm prepared for this. I got several bottles of water in my emergency kit that she keeps in her room with all kinds of stuff. I definitely think I'll keep some bigger jugs of water at home from now on.
And just a reminder, water in the tank, you're going to want to make sure to take off the lid and actually put it in the tank. Do not put it just straight in the toilet. DPS tells us they will be open all night giving water, non-drinking water, to those who need it so that you can be able to flood the toilet. For the now, I'm Nia Hardin.
I think we could all learn a lot from her daughter there, Nia. We thank you so much for the live report, and we do want to let our viewers know that you can go to the fire departments in Novi City Hall as well for drinking water, and also to get water to flush your toilets if you need that as well, and bathrooms as well, Carolyn.
Yeah, good to know for sure, right? Restaurants around the area are losing a lot of business today, too. We took a ride in West Bloomfield and found a number of them closed down, including a Hungry Howie's and a Coney Island. They have signs out that say closed due to a boil water advisory. It's certainly amazing how many people and businesses this one break is impacting. We're certainly feeling it for sure. Now, the Oakland County Health Department is reminding those affected by the break that if you have water, it's okay to wash your hands or shower as long as you don't swallow any of that water. You can also wash your laundry in either hot or cold water. When the advisory ends, run your tap slowly to flush the pipes for at least 5 minutes. And you may also need to clean appliances and filter units in your home. Until then, boiled or bottled water must be used to drink or brush your teeth, to wash your fruits or your vegetables and prepare your food, and to make ice for your drink. So important to remember.
It certainly is. And we have a list of all the affected communities. Again, if you're just joining us at WXYZ.com, we'll be posting updates to the boil water advisories and the latest school closings as well, because those have happened. Check out our app for continuing coverage as this situation evolves. We'll also bring you up to date a little bit later on here on the Now Detroit.
Yeah, I think I got a call at 5 a.m. this morning talking about school close. All right.